Welcome to the first module in this year's Learn to Lead alumni program. My name is Richard Webby, and I am a Professor of Practice in Information Systems at UNSW. I have over 25 years' experience of leading digital transformations from startups to large corporations. Most recently, I've been with Optus as Managing Director of Digital for the past 2 years, where I've led the transformation of our digital sales, service, analytics, and AI capabilities. Prior to Optus, I was the Director of Technology at Centre Group, and before that, I spent 20 years of my career in the US, including over 10 years leading digital technology at the Walt Disney Company. I'll use that as the basis for lots of examples in this module, since I know everyone wants to hear more about Disney. This module is divided into 3 parts. In each part, I'll introduce some best practice frameworks and then talk about my practical lessons that I've learned from leading digital transformation at Disney. Part 1 covers the broad topic of how to identify the best ideas for change in your organization. Usually there's no shortage of ideas. How can you build those ideas into a digital strategy that keeps your business relevant and successful in the digital age? Most importantly, how can you gather support from all your co-workers and senior management by making a strong case for change? Part 2 addresses the question of how to design your organization to be successful at digital transformation. It's all well and good to have a great digital strategy, but it's worthless if you can't implement it. How do you design your business so that it works on the most important problems to solve for your customers? How should accountabilities in your company be redesigned so that people are working in concert to achieve innovative digital customer solutions? Part 3 goes into the topic of how can you lead transformation in an organization with a lot of legacy systems, complex processes, and messy data that's been generated by siloed business units. How can those be unified into digital platforms? How can you leverage external partners not just to build, but also to co-develop? This is not a technical topic, but it's really one about leadership and prioritization. As you probably know, there's been a lot of books written about business strategy, and there's also many that cover digital strategy. Almost all of them start with a review of the underlying technology trends that are creating a need for change in all areas of business in terms of how they operate and deliver value to customers. I'm going to reference one of those books extensively in this course, which is from researchers at MIT. This book covers a lot of the people and cultural changes needed in organizations so that they can continue to challenge the status quo, experiment, and also get comfortable with failure. But first, about the tech. There are 3 fundamental enablers of digital transformation. One is the improvements in computer power. Like according to Moore's law, power has been doubling every 2 years, which has caused exponential growth in capabilities, enables things like AI and large-scale analytics. The second is connectivity. Bandwidth has continued to increase exponentially. We also have a law in this space called Nielsen's law of internet bandwidth. Small devices can be embedded now into machinery or personal fitness, which is called the Internet of Things, and they can communicate in near real time with back-end servers. The third factor is data creation and consumption, which has dramatically increased in velocity, volume, and variety. That's called big data. So now we have a lot of data stored in organizations around customer behavior, systems data, social media data, sensor data, etc. So the cost of storage has been dramatically decreasing, and so the amount of data that can be stored and analyzed is dramatically increasing. So those 3 fundamental enablers have led to all the technical trends and hype around things like generative AI, blockchain, crypto, etc. I won't go into all of them in this course, except in terms of how I'll briefly mention them in the Disney case study. In addition to the technology trends, customer expectations are continuing to evolve. A digital transformation can't be successful unless the needs of the customer, which could be internal or external customers, are well understood. An outstanding customer journey, as shown in this customer journey map, is critical to the sustained growth of a business. A positive customer experience helps retain customers, promotes loyalty, and encourages brand advocacy. The transformation of the customer journey starts with a deep understanding of the customer's needs. Digital can also help with internal customers, help reduce friction in the organization and reduce risk by capturing data about business processes and using technology to automate and integrate business processes. The third factor to consider in forming a digital strategy is, of course, the external market environment, both competitors and potential partners. This research from MIT showed that companies need to leverage digital partnerships to add new customers and add new digital products. As an example, consider Bing's partnership with The Iconic on a collection of inactive wear during the peak of the COVID lockdown. This built awareness of Bing among Iconic's digital natives, which grew the reach of Bing, and allowed Bing to also expand into clothing products in the partnership with The Iconic, which expanded their range. So, as mentioned, in order to illustrate some of the digital strategy concepts, I'm going to talk a bit about a major digital transformation that I helped lead at Walt Disney World. By the way, this image was on the cover of Life magazine at the Magic Kingdom opening in Florida in 1971. So we're talking about a business that's been around for quite a while and has grown enormously. So the Walt Disney World complex in Florida consists of 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, a massive bus fleet, 27,000 hotel rooms. It's actually the biggest laundry operation in the eastern United States and has 70,000 employees in that one location. So we're talking some serious scale and a massive, difficult digital transformation. To give you some context, this was the state of the art in digital in 2008. I joined Disney the year before as VP of Digital Technology, and the main focus was on marketing and sales online, getting tickets and getting packages online. And we actually succeeded in hitting $1 billion of revenue, US dollars, in 2008. But none of the website supported the actual experience in the parks, i.e. during their vacation. That experience was very much physical and very much a manual type of experience. At the heart of the Disney culture is a maniacal focus on the customer experience, CX. At Disney, customers are treated as guests, and employees are called cast members, and they're trained in the 4 keys basics: safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. And that dates back to when Walt Disney opened the original Disneyland in 1955. The great news is, just last year, Disney added a 5th key basic, which is inclusion, recognizing the importance of inclusion in creating a great customer-focused culture. So the way this works, and historically has worked for years, is that cast members are given cards to recognize their performance on all of those dimensions. And also all leaders must embody all of these values. So you'll even see the most senior executives picking up rubbish whenever they see it in a theme park. Disney has also taken these concepts and embodied them in a whole set of training courses around customer experience delivered by the Disney Institute. So coming back to the context of 2008, in this year, senior executives at Disney World were starting to get worried. Customer experience indicators such as intent to return were declining. Half of all first-time guests to the Disney theme parks indicated they would never come back again. The guests were complaining about the hassles of long lines, screaming kids, Florida heat, humidity, planning anxiety, would the kids get on the ride they wanted, transportation, etc., etc. All the frictions in the Disney vacation. Disney was particularly concerned about the long-term future of the theme park versus new digital experiences, such as the iPhone, streaming media, social networks. They were competing for entertainment eyeballs. Disney really wanted to make sure that it remained relevant for the future, more tech-oriented generation of guests, so they wouldn't lose the next generation. They were concerned Disney World had become a burning platform. The experience was anonymous, one size fits all. The height of personalization was going to guest relations and getting a button to recognize your birthday or first-time visit. In 2008, 5 executives from Walt Disney World formed a super secret project called Next Generation Experience. I became involved in the project in the following year. We laid out 4 main goals for the project, covering how to leverage data, wearable technology, connectivity, and digital channels to transform the customer experience. In my experience with digital transformation, the best ones focus primarily on the customer experience, expanding reach and range, but also, as a result, drive significant operational efficiencies in the process. We ultimately gained support from senior leaders like Bob Iger and the whole board of Disney, which included Steve Jobs at the time. We ultimately pitched the case for change and a $1 billion investment in digital transformation to those leaders. So we've reached the end of part 1, which has introduced how you can develop a case for change for digital transformation that addresses the threats and opportunities of new technology and changing customer experiences to increase the consumer value proposition at a company. In the next part, I'll discuss what you would need to put in place from an organizational capabilities and culture perspective to enable successful digital transformation. And I'll continue to leverage the Disney example to help you learn from what worked well and what didn't in that context. Finally, I'll leave you with a fun cartoon, which is the way I'm going to wrap up each part of this module.